Good morning. Thank you for joining me for another 5 good minutes with the Word. I'm Barry Bryson, and we're continuing our study of songs by others, and we're looking at the songs of the sons of Korah, and we're in Psalm 48. It's just such a pleasure. It really is um, to read this psalm. It is just as joyous, maybe even more so than if you could be than Psalm 47 that we looked at last time, which is an enthronement psalm, which we said is clearly connected to a knowledge of the second coming. And I think 48 is directly connected with 47. I think he's called for the kingdom of priests, the children of the king, to assemble in verse 9 of 47, and they are collected, they are assembled. I believe in verse 48, verse 4. And anyway, um, uh, this is a song of Zion, and it talks about Mount Zion. When we looked at Psalm 42 earlier, there was a reference made to Mount Hermon and Mount Mizar. And I should have talked to you about some of the geographic references, and we need to talk about Zion as a geographic reference. Mount Hermon is the highest peak in Palestine. It's 11,000 feet up, and it's snow-capped. And the snows of Hermon kind of water all of Palestine. And Mizar is a word that means little hill. So I don't know. Nobody knows exactly what he's talking about. Although Mount Mizar might be, Mount Zion, which is not a mountain but a hill, one of the hills of Jerusalem. Um, and he might just be saying from the highest peak to the lowest hill in Psalm 42. But this is about Mount Zion. Mount Zion is a place. It's one of the hills of Jerusalem. It's a hill upon which the tabernacle and then later on the temple would set when Jerusalem, during the reign of David, became the capital city. And so Zion then becomes, because it is the place of the temple, the tabernacle, because it is the place of the Ark of the Covenant, the mercy seat. It comes to mean the place where God is, the presence of God, and Zion then becomes in Old Testament prophetic passages a symbol of heaven. And in our own hymns, when we sing, "O Zion, Zion, I long thy gates to see," we're not talking about Temple Mount in Jerusalem. We're talking about heaven itself. And I think this song of Zion is, in their minds, about the hill of Zion. But I think God intends for us also to understand heaven as well. Okay, let's read it. Great is the Lord and greatly to be praised. Great is Yahweh and greatly to be praised. In the city of our God, his holy mountain, beautiful in elevation, the joy of the whole earth is Mount Zion. In the far north, the city of the great king. God, the great king. God, in her palaces, has made himself known as a stronghold. So her refers to the hill. The hill is a her. The God is a he. God in her palaces, the palaces of Mount Zion, has made himself known as a stronghold. For lo, the kings assembled themselves. They passed by together. They saw it. They were amazed. They were terrified. They fled in alarm. Panic seized them. Anguish as of a woman in childbirth. With the east wind you break the ships of Tarshish. And as we have heard, so have we seen. In the city of Yahweh of hosts, Yahweh of armies, in the city of our God, God will establish her forever. We have thought on your loving kindness, O God, in the midst of your temple, as is thy name, O God, so is thy praise to the ends of the earth. Your right hand is full of righteousness. Let Mount Zion be glad. Let the daughters of Judah rejoice because of your judgments. Walk about Zion and go around her, count her towers, consider her ramparts, go through her palaces, that you may tell it to the next generation. For such is God, our God forever and ever. He will guide us until death, or he will guide us forever and ever. I think that's probably the better textual forever. He will guide us forever. Some um, manuscripts have death, but I think forever is a better way. Okay, so this is a hymn, Song of Zion, Psalm 137, which is such a sad song. It's just in terms of tone, the opposite of this song. By the waters of Babylon, we hung up our harps. Um, because our tormentors wanted mirth from us. And they said, "Sing us one of the songs of Zion." The songs of Zion, the worship music of the Jews, was the thing that people around the world knew about. It was their cultural heritage that they had given to the world. Everybody knew about the superior worship music of the children of Israel. I mean, David's fame as a composer was in ancient times was greater than his fame as a king or as a warrior. Everyone knew about the songs of Zion, and we want them. This is a song of Zion, and I think it has to be more than just about Jerusalem. Jerusalem was the capital city, but Jerusalem, when the Babylonians destroyed it, not nearly the size it was, even when Herod was reigning, certainly not the size that it is today. Um, 20, 30,000 people perhaps lived in the city of Jerusalem. Um, and he talks about palaces, multiple palaces and ramparts and things that just didn't exist in the city. There was a palace and there were fortifications, but he has to be describing. He's either idealizing Jerusalem or talking about something more beyond Jerusalem, Mount Zion. That's why I think this song is about heaven. The kings who are assembled in verse 4 aren't the princes assembled, of course, in verse 47. But I do think that we have this connection in themes between the two, and whereas I think 47 is a song that ultimately celebrates the second coming, I think 48 is a psalm that ultimately celebrates heaven as our dwelling place forever and ever. God's place, God's holy mountain, where God dwells. Um, we have the kings of the earth assembled. Don't forget, in the book of Revelation, the rulers of the earth try to get the mountains to fall on them, and we have something similar at the end of time. We have something similar here. The panic seizing them as a woman in childbirth. We have that image in the book of Revelation as well, don't we? The ships of Tarshish, that's the Iberian Peninsula. So he's not only talking about the military might in the Mediterranean world, he's talking about the economic might in the Mediterranean world as well, and how God is stronger. God is beyond, the power and influence, not only of the military might of the world, but the economic might of the world. So anyway, that is what's being referenced when that is talked about. Um, and then we end with this, we praise the celebration of God's loving kindness, his hesed, his covenant loyalty, the way he loves us because he's covenanted to us. And talks about God's name, as is your name, so is your praise. God is the one who is. Yahweh, the one who exists, the one who is. And therefore your praise is going to be eternal as well. As is your name, O God, so is your praise to all the ends of the earth. Um, Such is God, our God. Tell it to the next generations. Look at the beauty of heaven and tell it to the next generation, because this is our God. This is who he is. This is what he has prepared for us. He is our God forever and ever, and he will be our God forever and ever. Okay. We'll talk about Psalm 49 next time. Thank you so much for your attendance, for listening to me, indulging me, and for joining me for another 5 good minutes with the Word.